how loud was it on the field, and how much did it affect you guys up front?
Yeah, like it was pretty loud. Floor is a tough place to play. We had to change a couple things as far as snap count and our cadence sometimes. So yeah, we just got to do a better job communicating and make sure we're all on the same page so we won't have those miscues before the snap.
Michael?
Yeah, how much of that is vocal in the communication? I know you saw Bryce coming to the line, changing things several times as the play clock was winding down. Is it something you're listening for, or is that stuff that can contribute to some of the false starts?
Yeah, definitely sometimes just trying to hear Bryce's changes the calls or change the protection could be hard sometimes just trying to hear, and we had some issues with that sometimes then communicating which type of cadence we were doing. Sometimes we had confusion whether we're going on the clap because we started with the clap going into the game, but as the sound got louder, obviously couldn't hear a clap, so we went to a silent cadence later on in the game, so that was a little bit better.
Nick Kelly?
Coach Saban's mentioned throughout the first few weeks of the season about maintaining intensity and something he's looking for from you guys. What does that look like on the O-line?
Pretty much same as everybody else on the team, just maintaining our intensity for 60 minutes. We obviously have to do better, and it starts in practice. Just finishing plays, competing till the whistle blows every play, and being relentless for 60 minutes. So just got to get back to the basics, and it starts this week with practice, and hopefully we get it turned around.
Katie Wyndham?
Hey, Emil, kind of bouncing off the questions about the noise. How do you think for the offense, the offensive line, and Bryce as a young quarterback playing in that type of loud environment and then coming out with the win prepares the team going forward, already having played in something that tough?
I definitely think it was a really good experience for us, a learning experience, something that we could take with us into the future. So now we have that under our belt, and now we know we have to practice a little bit more on what we're going to do in a hostile environment. So I think now we know how to go about it, and so I think we're better suited for any other situation.
Steven?
Emil, Brian Robinson's always had that type of fire about him, but just seeing how he played against Florida, what type of energy and confidence he creates when he plays like that?
It definitely brings a lot of energy to the offensive line, especially because you love to block for a guy like that. Somebody's going to fight for extra yards and run hard every time he gets the ball. So just try to match his energy and intensity and block with that same intensity because he's going to try and run hard, break tackles, and get as many yards as he can.
Tony?
Yeah, Emil, you guys have to mix and match throughout the offseason. How much have you guys grown together, gelled as a unit over these first 3 games?
I think we've grown a lot. We've been through a couple of different experiences with Miami and a neutral setting, playing at home versus Mercer, and then just playing in a game like that. So those 3 experiences can go a long way in shaping us throughout the season. And like you said, we mix and match a lot through our off season. So just getting this group of guys to gel and keep working together. I think we're in a work in progress and we're doing a really good job of coming together as offensive line.
John?
Yeah, we've heard probably Saban talk about 60 minutes and maintaining that probably every single week here. How many times have you heard him say 60 minutes? And can you feel like y'all let up after you've been totally dominant for stretches of games and then kind of let teams back in a little bit? Do you feel like y'all let up? And how many times have you heard that 60 minutes phrase?
Yeah, I've heard it my whole career here. It's something that Saban's always emphasized as a part of the program, it's a part of the culture, and the team knows that we have to do that and play to that standard. As far as the game, I feel like we did have some lulls in the game after we got up in the big lead, but we can't look at the scoreboard like Coach Saban says, and I think that's something that this team's working on, and now I think from that experience, we could take it and do better in the future just because we had that experience of being up and having a lead and not sustaining our energy.
Michael?
You guys had that series it was in the fourth quarter where you got 1st and goal from the 2-yard line had a couple inside runs that didn't go very far. I guess what was going on in those moments, and in the trenches and those high pressure moments.
Yeah, I just think we have to do a better job executing. It's part of our identity to punch it in on the goal line. So just not being able to do that is really a shot at the offensive line, and we have to do better just because we just can't do that. We're on the 1 yard line, we got to score. It's just unacceptable. So going forward, we're going to make it a point to be better in those situations. But yeah, like you said, it just wasn't acceptable. We got to execute better.
Final question, Charlie.
Emil, you're playing in between a couple of guys that are relatively new, I guess, to the first team line, and Darian and Chris, even though I know Chris has played there before. Just what have you thought of the way that those two guys have played through the first 3 games?
I think these guys have played really good, especially starting with Darian, just handling that situation at center, just being able to communicate. I thought for the most part we're on the same page in protections, and I mean, for the most part, Bryce stood up pretty upright during the game. So just being on the same page with the Florida's exotic blitz package, it was tough. So Darian did a really good job calling out blitzes, getting us in the right calls, and then as far as Chris has been good playing next to older guys because he has a lot of experience. So honestly, when we hear the play, we don't have to do too much talking because we already know what to do. So it's pretty good just playing next to a guy like that because he has a lot of experience. So
Thank you, Emil.